Thank you for joining us today as we're going to take you through the Exhibitor Marketing Kit for the 2025 The Inspired Home Show. We've got a lot of information to cover today. We're going to show our contact information on this slide, and you can reach out to us at any time with any questions, or you can also go to your sales manager. They'll be able to answer your questions about this as well. So let's get started. So I'm Nancy Michael. I'm in charge of the sales team here at IHA.
And I'm Debbie Teschke, and I handle the public relations for the association and the show, and also the show PR team.
So today's agenda, there's kind of three big top of line things we're going to cover here. The big one is attracting buyers and media. The second one is our online show directory, Connect 365. And then lastly, reaching the consumer. Deb's going to take you through a lot of the media stuff because it's a big part of our show if you're not aware of that. So stay tuned. We're kind of getting the housekeeping out of the way now. We're going to do a live demo in the marketing kit, but there's a couple of things you need to be aware of. There's two warnings here I'm going to show up on the screen. The first one is for the fair guide or expo guide. And the other one is buyer and media lists. If you've been in this industry for a long time, you likely have seen these two, what we'll refer to as poachers. Try to solicit you on hotel rooms is another one. Or we've got all the buyer lists with email addresses and titles, and for $3,000, we'll give you that. So let's just start with the buyer and media lists. IHA provides this to our exhibiting members. Actually, you just have to be an exhibitor. You don't even have to have membership. As part of your booth fee, you receive our IHA registered buyer lists and media lists. This gives you all the information, including title, name, address, phone numbers. You're going to ask me, are there emails on this list? And I'm going to tell you there are not, and there never has been. First, long before there were rules from other countries on email sharing, we left it into the buyer's hands if they wanted to share or not. And of course, they did not want to share. And I always use the example of the Macy's buyer does not want 1,600 exhibitors emailing them to look at their products. So you can understand why the buyers don't want to list their emails. And then as life chugged on, you've got the GDPR now in Europe, very strict privacy laws on emails, and also Canada has a similar policy. So even if we had wanted to share them, the fines are very stiff for sharing. So we're not even able to do that. But if you use these lists correctly, you could probably do a little sleuth work, use your LinkedIn. You can often find or figure out what the email is. So that's one way, use the lists. The other disclaimer I had on here was this fair guide or expo guide. So we have our Connect 365, which is our online show directory. It's free of charge. Just note if you see these, this used to be a mailed letter. I don't know how much of that's happening anymore. But I do want to point out with the onset of artificial intelligence, you got to be so diligent now and make sure if you're getting emails or whatnot, that you're checking that URL list and making sure it's a secured site if they're sending you to a website, because I'm sure these poachers are going to get as sophisticated as everybody else. So please be aware of that. I mentioned housing. On Peak is our official provider. If you go onto the website, theinspiredhomeshow.com, under the Attend tab, you can look at all the hotels that are open. We work very hard to get the rates to be, very good for Chicago. It is in March in Chicago, so we have a little leg up there, but we really work hard to get on these hotel contracts to ensure we're delivering you the best rate possible. You can also use your loyalty points. There's all sorts of things you can do. So just note, On Peak is our official housing partner. The deadline to book early, so rates will change, is the end of December. It's December 31st. And again, I said you can go to the Inspired Home Show right under attend, and you'll find all the hotel information. So badge registration is open for all assigned exhibitors. You have to be active and placed in order to be able to register for your exhibitor badges. So if you're still pending assignment, you cannot do that yet. But as soon as you are assigned your space, you'll be able to go ahead and get your badges set. You access badge registration through your exhibitor portal. I'm sure most of you are familiar with that at this point. And then lastly, so for those of you joining us who haven't been with us in a few years, last year we changed the date pattern along with the show hours. So now we are open on Sunday, close on Tuesday, and we have 3 full days. So show will open at 8:30 a.m. We'll close officially at 5:30 p.m. However, we will do an extended hour on the show floor on Sunday and Monday only. And that will take you till 6:30. And then at 6:30, they'll dim the lights and security will start booting everybody off. But this is a great way if you're already finding you've got a lot of appointments scheduled and you're pretty sure you're going to need extra time. We built that time in for you. Here's our information. We'll come back to this page at the end. You can reach, like I said earlier, myself or Debbie at any time, or your sales manager. We can all answer questions for you. This webinar is being recorded and we will take questions during the webinar.
Nancy, we had a question about badge pickup. Do
Okay.
you have off-site locations before the show opening at key hotels?
Yes, we will have other locations to pick up the badges. I'm not sure we've totally got that all figured out yet. There are definitely some hotel partners that you can pick up your badge early if you don't want to deal with it at McCormick Place. I will tell you with badge registration, you need a unique email in order for them to approve it, and you'll get a QR code. So once you have all that information, once you've registered for your badge, it's a pretty quick pickup on site. And then closer in the next couple of weeks, I imagine that information will start coming out. You can always go to the website. But really, I think start looking in your Exhibitor Connect. That comes out every Tuesday. And you'll get that now it started 2 weeks ago, and then up through the show, you'll get Exhibitor Connect and it'll be in there. Again, if you're not sure and you want to know where badge pickup is, you can always just give us a shout and we'll find that out for you. But that information will be coming in a few weeks. So without further ado, we're going to head into the marketing kit. You're going to see a few things on the screen here. We're going to get over to this one. Hold on a second, we're getting there. Here we go. So this is the inspiredhomeshow.com. And this is kind of your hub for everything with the show. So you're going to be looking at this exhibit tab primarily, and you can kind of see there's floor plans on there, the prospectus, but really what you're looking for is the marketing kit. This is the easiest and most streamlined way to get to the marketing kit. I do want to point out the services kit is also in here, the exhibitor services kit. This is where you're going to find all your vendor forms, all your Freeman forms. It's kind of Operation Central, if you will. The warnings we talked about are all in the services kit. You can also reach them right here, the exhibitor warnings. You can get into Connect 365 from here. Keep in mind, everything is password protected. You're going to see that USI sign-in screen a lot. We'll point it out when we go through this. You'll need your email and your password. A lot of the tasks that you will want to do, you'll have to enter your exhibitor portal to get to it. and we'll try to point that out when we can. So we're going to go ahead and hit marketing kit here and get started into the kit. So this is kind of like a quick search, this first bar. And as we get into it, you'll be able to access all this stuff. What I want to point out on this toolbar is the sponsorship opportunities. This is actually the only place you can get to sponsorship. If you go ahead and learn more, you're going to see all the difference, kind of like a big rolling PDF almost. Here's some new things we've put for 25, and you can search this at your leisure. There's all different price points on here. You can see, get into the $1,500 range with banner ads and attendee emails. But the takeaway here is if there's a sponsorship that you've come up with, I would like to do XYZ in the bathrooms. You can just contact Adrian Taratilli and see if that's something we are able to do. We have worked on a few custom sponsorships this year for people. So it's not a set deal, but there's a nice big menu here on things you can do. And I know they're still adding a few, so check back if you don't see anything that you're that interested in. So as we kind of move on, Connect 365, I think we'll just tackle right now. This is a really important page, and you'll be getting phone calls. We have a dedicated person who comes on. Her name is Carrie, who starts contacting all the exhibitors to make sure that you are populating your company profile. This is a really, really important tool. This is the directory. We do many, many, many buyer visits throughout the year leading up to the show. 90% of the buyers use this tool. And if they don't use it, we encourage them to use it because they can do a lot of pre-show planning through Connect 365. And we will tell you, what do we always tell people, Dad?
The more visual your profile and your listing are, the more the exposure you will have and the more interest you will have from both buyers and news media.
Exactly. So I'm going to go ahead and hit this learn more. And this is just a little, blurb about what it is. If I hit access your account, it's going to take you to the USI, which is the name of the database, sign-in screen. So before you really get kicking on this, in this marketing kit, if you're not the primary, like the show contact, and you need access into the marketing kit, your sales manager can either help you get set up so that your email registers and you can set your own password. If that's not the case, then you're always going to see this sign in to get into the USI. Everything's password protected. A lot of it is, and this is where you would enter. If you have questions about that, you can talk to your sales manager. So when Deb and I were preparing for this webinar, we always talk about Connect 365. We took a different approach this year and we said, what are the 3 things? If there's anything you're going to take advantage of, what are the things you should definitely be taking advantage of in Connect 365? And we narrowed it down to these 3 things. Listing your brands. So we're going to have kind of a shift in focus versus promoting number of exhibitors. We're really going to start focusing on brands. The show has tens of thousands of brands in it. And that's really what people recognize. People don't always recognize the company name because it may be very general. It's not like, I'll use Bodum as an example. Bodum is its own name and its brand name, but you have a lot of companies that really distribute or carry several different major brands, and you would never know what those brands are if I told you a generic name of a company. So this is kind of a big focus on how we're going to start marketing, etc. And this is what you're going to want to do. You're going to have to take some time probably, and I'm going to point out a few things. There's tutorials, but we really want you to start listing your brands, the logos for your brands. This becomes really important for the buyers and media that are using the site. Then new products and badge identifiers. So new products. The show is all about new products. Debbie's going to go into a few different ways to get your new products in front of the media for sure. But right here, this is open to everyone, attendees and media. So this new product listing is pretty important. You're going to want to do that. And I'm going to show you what a badge identifier is, but this is a real easy way for people to search. And you can go ahead and you have made in the USA or independent. Do you want to introduce? Okay. And then we're into in-booth specials, events. So the in-booth special event is really just like, do you have celebrities? Debbie's going to talk about this a couple of times, but it's really for media and attendees people love a good event. They love a party. They love a celebrity chef. They love a giveaway. So that's what this is all about. So go ahead and if you've got an appearance or you're going to be doing something special in your booth, you can go ahead and mark it there. So as we go down you can watch demos, access your account's going to take you to that sign in again, that USI sign in. But here's 2 tutorials when we revamped Connect 365. They're still very much relevant to what you're going to be doing. We're probably going to redo these for next year, but this is an overview, get a first look, and then get started. Takes you through step by step on how to do some of the populating. So I think it's semi-intuitive once you get into it. If you just want to go check it out, this is where you would hit this. It would take you in and you can start searching with keywords or whatnot. So again, this is a really important piece of marketing material for you. We know the buyers use it. We know the attendees use it. Get your corporate profiles up to date. And you can always add or delete if you need to. Anything to add, Deb?
No, the media likes to use Connect 365 to search for new products. So that new product search is very critical, that you enter your products and that you click the new button in the information that you're adding. And I'll go through that a little bit more in a few minutes. But yeah, we always tell the media this is where you go to look for the new. And then we also have another opportunity that I'll explain how you can get your new products in front of the news media as well.
Great. Oops. Yeah, I hit my back button. Okay, moving on. Upcoming deadlines. This is a great first glance. As you can see, lead retrieval. There's a couple different deadlines with lead retrieval. But you can see the first one for the very early bird discount is the 19th. And this is, again, just a place to go ahead and look. You might see these deadlines change, like sometimes we'll extend signage. Some are definitely hard deadlines, but some we have a little more wiggle room. Anyways, you should familiarize yourself with these deadlines because what's going to happen is the holidays are going to happen. And then I know many of us travel in January to the different gift shows or consumer electronics, whatever it might be. And then before you know it, you haven't done anything and you've missed the deadline. Okay, so getting into attract buyers, the first thing is these buyer registration lists. If you're currently an exhibitor, you will see on your exhibitor portal, we re-put the lists up November 1st from last year's show. Excuse me, we're still in the current year from the 2024 show. These lists will get pulled down right before the 25 show. And then we will clean data and sometime in mid to end of April, those lists will reappear for a short period of time. Once the Space App Drive starts, we pull those down and then we'll put them back up again for people who are re-signed up. So the other thing you'll hear is media. You'll see, I think I mentioned this, active and placed exhibitors are the only people who have access to these lists. But hopefully all of you on this webinar will soon be active and placed or already are active and placed. Independent retailers. So we started a little thing with independent retailers a few years back. our surveys, more in the past, not so much recently. We used to get a lot of independents who just got so frustrated being on the floor because you'd have these big brands who really weren't interested in selling us independent. They're more looking for container loads or whatever it might be. Anyways, that scenario's changed quite a bit on the show floor. But just in case, we put in a little program for independent, if you're independent retailer friendly. Here's the kind of the three big things. There's signage that you can sign up for that is free. The Connect 365 badge is free. And the independent friendly exhibitor, it's just inclusion and some marketing that we do to let independent retailers know that there are plenty of exhibitors on our floor that want to meet the independent. So that's kind of what this program is all about. Lead retrieval. So there's a real important thing about lead retrieval. I'm just going to hit it right up front. Lead retrieval is considered a business card exchange. So when you're scanning, if you rent a lead retrieval unit and you're scanning everybody's cards or badges, you're going to get all their contact information, including the email address. This is one of two ways you can legitimately grab an attendee's email address. The other thing that was pointed out when we started talking about lead retrieval this year is that a lot of people have stopped carrying business cards, which I've actually experienced. And it's very unsettling because all of a sudden you don't have anything to contact them. I know there's apps and I know there's a lot of that with the phone. But back to lead retrieval, it's a great way to capture everyone's information, including those email addresses. And you can see there's a bunch of different deadlines here. And there's a show code. And if you just you can see the different options on the order form and you can just take care of all of that online. Deb, what's your favorite topic in booth special events?
Oh, yes. Thank you, Nancy. After what's new in terms of products, the second most question I get asked by the news media is who's going to be at the show. And this is your way to tell the buyers and the media who is going to be at the show. This is a special search in Connect 365, and then both buyers and media can search for these listings and see if you're going to have a celebrity or a celebrity chef, or if you're doing a booth demonstration, or maybe you're having a reception just for the buyers or just for the media. So all you do is you click this here and I'll take you into the portal, and there's a task for filling out the form and submitting it. They will begin searching in early to mid-February for these events. I would encourage you to submit this information as soon as you can, so as soon as you know it, so that you can have more exposure. I believe they'll also be able to search through the show app at the show. So, there's another way that they'll see this information. But this is a great way to get that information out in front of the buyers and the news media. And best part is it's free.
Shuttle bus advertising is not free, but if you're interested, we provide transportation, again, going back to the block hotels on peak. So if you look at all those hotel lists, there's a shuttle bus within the vicinity. It might not be at your hotel, but it might be next door or across the street. But it's about a 15-minute ride or so from downtown Chicago to where McCormick Place is located. And there's all sorts of different ways to advertise on the bus. There's like a movie strip that goes, you can advertise on that. There's panels you can advertise on the bus. So if that's something that's interesting, I'll let you go ahead and take a look at that on your own. So product displays, this is a big conversation. So I just want to kind of pull back and tell you most of the things in this marketing kit are free. There are a few pay-to-play opportunities. And this first one, New Product Showcase and Geo Awards, is a pay-to-play. Normally, when we charge you for something, all we're doing is passing along our costs. And this is a very big program, and there are a lot of costs associated with it. So let me kind of just take you through it. If you're a member, your product entry cost is $325. And if you're a non-member, it's $425 per product. Connie Chantos is your point of contact. If you've got real specific questions, you can contact her. But this is a really comprehensive program. We are celebrating our 25th year for GIA, Global Innovation Awards is what it stands for. I travel a lot. I travel to other outside the USA. I see people with the GIA logo on their booth. People carry this. It's got to be a 25-pound award. It's solid crystal. It's a beautiful award. I see them all over the place. It's really people. This is a prestigious award within the industry, and a lot of people want to take advantage of it. So you'll see it says new product showcase / GIA. And the reason it says that is because new product showcase is the entry point to be considered for a GIA award. New product showcases are located in both expo halls. So there's one in the north and there's one in the south. They are part of the buyers clubs. Nobody but buyers are allowed in those clubs. So even if you're gonna go, I need to see how you're displaying my product, they will not let you in. I'm telling you right now, save yourself the aggravation. Only buyers and media are allowed in the new buyers clubs where the new product showcases are. And this is really, there's several reasons, but a big one is your intellectual property. You don't want your competitors looking at it. It's a new product and it's meant for our attendees. So you can see here, products submitted by the January 20 deadline are automatically entered into the GIA Awards program. So regardless if you want to be in it, you don't want to be in it, you're getting judged. And I would definitely tell you to make sure your stuff's here before January 20th. Just as a matter of course, just so it's here, you're logged, we know what we have to prepare for. If you submit your products after the January 20th deadline, you still can often get into the new product showcase, but there's no GIA eligibility. We're on tight timelines with that. We have a panel of outside judges that come in to judge. So it's just not a flexible deadline. This is a really important program. It's like I said, GIA is 25 years old now, and our buyers love this program. The next one you can see is free and free. I'm going to color Pantone and then I'm going to turn it back to Deb to talk about the news center. Pantone, we've been partnered with Pantone for longer than I've been working here. So it's a long time. In fact, when I was on the supply side, I always applied for Pantone and they used to take a lot of my product. So the first thing you have to do here, and I'm going to let you guys read this. I'm not going to get into super detail. The first step is you've got to get their confidential color palette. So you do have to sign some sort of non-disclosure. Once you look at the color palettes, then you submit either your catalogs or product slicks or pictures of products that you think fall within this color palette. And Pantone selects what products they want. If you've never been to the show, Pantone is in a very prominent position. It's on level 2.5 in McCormick Place, essentially right near gate 4, which is where most people enter. The majority of the attendance comes in through gate 4, and it's up one set of escalators, and there it is. It's a beautiful display. They take a lot of time and care with it, including the merchandising. I highly recommend you try to at least get into it. It's free, and if they pick your product, it's just great exposure. And News Center, Deb's going to talk to you about.
Nancy, really quick.
Oh,
We had a question. We had a question about the new product showcase. If I've never exhibited at the show and want to submit an older product for the new product showcase in GIA, does the product submission for GIA have to be a new product?
So we're a little fast and loose on the new product, particularly if you've never exhibited before. I think there's something in here actually about it. No, they can be prototypes. Connie's kind of your point of contact on here. I know that at one point, if it was at least within the last 12 months, we would consider it new. Again, though, if like you're a new exhibitor and it's a bestseller, I think we would take it, but Connie Chantos would be your point of contact on that. But I would tell you the loose rule is it's got to be within the last 12 months. Okay. Back to that.
Right. The news center is the headquarters for the news media when they come to the show. They have to pick up their badges in the news center. We're located in room S401 on the 4th level of the South building. So it's right between the two halls, very easy for them to get to. In the news center, we have a product room that we will display your products for free. And in there, all the media will go through the room. They will be escorted by somebody from my show PR team. They're not allowed to walk in there unescorted for obvious reasons because the products are out on shelves and we want to protect your products and we don't want anything to walk away, unfortunately. So all you have to do is fill out the form where say submit your product now. That's a form that you'll fill out, submit it to us, and then Lynn Wolf, my assistant, will give you a call if we want your product, or she'll send you an email and with the information on how to send it to us here at the IHA office so we can take it down to McCormick Place with us, or you can drop it off during move-in when you come to set up your booth. We will be in the news center beginning Thursday to start setting up, and so you can, drop off your products then. Again, this is a free service, and it's a great way to get your product in front of the media. Last year, we had over 400 products on display. Lou Manfredini, who is a radio reporter, he has a syndicated show called House Smarts, or he's like a Mr. Fix-It. Lou came to the show last year and spent 3 hours in that room, and all of the products that he featured and has been featuring on his show throughout the year have come from the product room. He saw them there, and then some. If he had time, he went out on the show floor. But this is a great opportunity for you to get your products in front of the media. And a lot of media went through there and used some of the products that they saw on display for their news stories that they wrote during the show.
Thanks, Don.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we've covered a lot. We've covered this, and now we're going to talk about signage. So signage is free. These are like little 6x6 square placards that either say new for the home, made in the USA, smart home, no photography. You can read this. Anyways, this is all free. You can order. There's one central ordering form, which probably if I click on here, it's going to take me to my in-booth signage form. And you can go ahead, you just fill this out and you can select all the different signage. So let me just tell you, new for the home, it's the only one that's going to ask you for a desired quantity. You can order as many of these as you want. You have 30 new products, you can order 30. You have 5 new products, you could still order 30. This is the only sign that we don't have a minimum on. And you can also, like, let's say you order 5 and you're like, oh my God, I need some more. All the floor manager desks in the expo hall you're exhibiting in will have extras, so you can always get more of those. But everything else, made in the USA, smart home, no photography, you get 2 signs. And all the signs will be delivered to your booth on Saturday before show opening on Sunday. I just want to point out there's 2 things you have to agree to if you want made in the USA or smart home. So these are actually the government guidelines on what's considered a made in the USA product. So you have to read that and you have to click in the I agree form in order to get those. The other one is smart home. It's more just so you know, like we're really looking for app enabled or robotic functioning. That's what we would consider smart. So if you want those, again, you have to agree to those terms, and then you just kind of fill out the rest of it and you submit. If you are selected for Pantone, you will receive those automatically. 2 signs, everything but new for the home. Okay, I think we are about to turn this over to Debbie on the 500 million ways you can attract consumer media.
Well, the show, as it says here, the show attracts more than 500 million consumer impressions. And that's a lot of eyeballs. And that is through all the various media forms out there, whether it's print coverage, internet coverage, broadcast coverage, or something that's growing is the social media coverage, either on websites from bloggers or through social media influencers with their YouTube or their TikTok or whatever, Instagram, Pinterest, whatever social media method they are using. So we just kind of add up all the coverage that we get, and that's how we get the impressions. So the first service I'd like to talk to you about is called First Look for Media. And this is through Connect 65. Or 365. It is a special search just for news media. It is gated, meaning that only news media can do this, and they have to have registered for Connect 365. And the nice thing about that is they register as news media for Connect 365. I receive those applications or requests to be media, and then I approve them. And if they are not editorial news media, if they're a salesperson, if they're a marketing person, if they're another supplier, or if there's somebody, a retailer or somebody else who is not editorial news media, I do not approve it. I decline them. So you can be sure that only editorial media will be seeing these listings. Again, this is free. Last year we had, for the 2024 show, we had more than 1,200 product listings entered, and we had over 100 media registered and looking through it. And a lot of the companies would look at the products and they use them in stories that we saw before the show. And then they also use them during the show and in their post-show coverage. The search will open to the news media on January 1st. So I highly encourage you to start entering your listings now so that you can take advantage of maximum exposure when we let the media know this is open and they can start searching. And you can read all the benefits of it. Each listing includes the name of the product, a brief description of the product, the media contact at a company or your PR agency, so the media can contact you after they look at your listing if they want more information. And then if you have a video, a demonstration video on YouTube, you can include that link so they can watch the product being used. The search will stay up until next fall. So you've got a long time. It's not just during the show or a couple of weeks after the show. It's for months after the show. I would encourage you to come back in the summer or the fall if you have some new products you'd like to get out there and enter those. And again, this is free. Oh, and also, it's a way for, like I said, for you to get the emails of the news media. The media registration list, as Nancy mentioned, we have that up there with the buyers list, but the news media list includes the emails of the exhibitors or the media, if they have allowed us to enter them. We ask them when they register if they will let us give you their email. Most of them say yes. The ones who say no, we'll remove those before we post the list. This is the final 2024 media registration list is up there now. The pre-show list of everybody who's registered for the 25 show will be posted in early to mid-February. So please come back then and download that list and you'll see everybody who's registered for the show and you can start pitching to them. Next is the show news center. And as I mentioned, this is the headquarters for the media where they have to come get their badges. We offer them a lot of amenities. We have a continental breakfast and we also offer lunch daily there for them. They can either come and have a boxed lunch in the news center or go to one of the cafes and have a free lunch just as the buyers get a free lunch every day. We have a lounge. We have the pop-up room. We have a display area for your press kits. All you have to do is send us your press kits, whether it's a paper kit, a folder or press release or something, or a USB drive or a CD drive, and just send it to me in the news center, and you will get your kit put out there for free. We give the media a box that they can pack up the kits, and then the day after the show, we send those back to their offices free of charge for them. So that's another way to get your information out to the media before and after or during and after the show. If you don't have a PR agency or you don't have an in-house PR person and you still want to take advantage of this, here's a link to a sample press release that you can follow and that you can write your own press release. And then here's more information and the news center address. We ask that you ship the kits, either FedEx or UPS or DHL. Do not mail them because the post office does not deliver to McCormick Place. And so then here's more information. Here's about the new product listings in 365 that we've talked about, and also the in-booth special events.
Right. I just want to clarify, there's really kind of two places to put your new products. One's for the media that's gated, no exhibitor, nobody can see it other than media. And then there's the new product listings that we went through briefly on the Connect 365. We know this is where the buyers look, media will still look there. They're a little different and the audience they reach, but it's a little bit extra work for you, but worth it.
And there's also the new product showcase in the buyer's lounge. You know, you may have that's for new products, and you can duplicate and send the same product that you put in the showcase to the news center. We encourage the media to go to the buyer's lounges and look at the showcases, but again, you can always send it to us in the news center if you don't think they're going to go there. Then once again, these are the new product listings that we talked about in Connect 365. Again, this is the same page explaining how to enter it. And then with the button, it'll take you to the task in Connect 365. Now, we talk a lot about the consumer media because everybody wants to get to the consumer. But the trade media are also very important to the show and come to the show looking for new. And you don't want to ignore the trade media because guess who reads the trade media publications? The buyers, and everybody wants a buyer to come to their booth. So we offer a couple of opportunities for you to get to the trade publications and give them your new product information. Now, anything that you send them for an editorial opportunity is free. It's not advertising. They don't charge for editorial opportunities. So I really encourage you to take advantage of this. The first one is we list all of the trade publications and their editors and their contact information alphabetically. So all you have to do is just click on the link and it'll give you the listing of all the domestic trade publications. Then secondly, we have new product information opportunities for both the domestic and the international trade publications. And the international publications like to get your information as well because they like to get it out there because we have a large contingent of international buyers who come to the show and they like to read about the new product information and that's how they hear about it. So first you'll see the domestic publications and then you see the international. Now the international publications are listed by alphabetically by company or country. So you see for Argentina, we give you the name of the publication, the contact, what the deadline is, the criteria that they're looking for in products, and then the specifications for submitting their information to them. I encourage you to look at this right away as a lot of the deadlines for the international publications are much earlier than the domestic publications. Like some are, the end of November, some are the beginning of December, some have no deadlines, some are February. Again, this is a free opportunity. And we hear from the international trades every year saying that our exhibitors do not take advantage of this and send them their information. So again, please take advantage of this free opportunity and send the trade publications your new product information.
This is just a great way to get exposure. I come from the supplier side. I had relationships with all the domestic editors for certain. I was getting our products featured all the time free of charge. And it's just if you've got a marketing person on staff or an intern, it's as simple as just reaching out and sending them information, pictures, and then they'll come back to you if they need more.
Right. Yes. Next are press kit resources, and I've talked about putting the paper press kits in the news center, but we also have an online press room on the inspiredhomeshow.com. And this is free to you as an exhibitor. You can submit your press kit. All you have to do is fill out this form, attach your files, and then submit it, and it will go on the website. We used to offer a service like this through Virtual Press Office and Cision several years ago. That was a paid service. This is free. We've been able to make some space on our show website, and here you can see that they're all listed by category, so the media can search by category, and then they give, it lists the company name and the contact information and what category you're in, so the media can see, who you are, and then start downloading and looking at the kits that they want. But again, this is a great opportunity. You can submit a paper kit to me in the news center and also submit a online press kit. You can do both of them. We also have press release distribution for those of you who like to use the news wires. And this is going to be offered through PR Web, which is a division of Cision, which is also works with the Virtual Press Office. We just received that information. We're going to be posting it within the next few days, so please come back and take a look at it. And what they are offering is a 10% discount on press release distribution to their various wires. They have 4 different levels of distribution and services, and so you would get 10% off whatever that price is. There will be, and you can do it for up to 3 press releases. There will be 3 codes that you'll be able to give them, 1 for each press release, and then to get that 10% discount. So again, please come back and take a look at that information. Then we have show logos and branding, and many of you have social media accounts and you like to promote the show that way. So we are giving you our logos to help you do that. First, we have the show logo in various formats that you can download. Then we have the various expos. And so you can download one of these graphics to use in your social media postings to help promote, what expo you are going to be in. Then we have the GIA Awards. If you are in the GIA Awards, you can download one of these logos if you're selected as a finalist or a global honoree. And then lastly, we have the IHA logo, and you can use this all year round to let people know you're a member of IHA or, you're participating in any of our services. Now, lastly, I want to talk to you about the pitch to the media form. And this is not a product-focused form, but a form to help us tell the news media about you and about your story. All you have to do is fill out this form and submit it. We ask, who you are you the exhibitor or the agency? So your PR agency can fill this out for you as well. And then tell us your company's story. If, you are a brand new exhibitor and you created a product in response to a solution or an issue that you had, and this product was a solution to that problem, let us know about that. If you are, if your products are made in the USA, or if you're a female-owned or a minority-owned company, let us know about that, because the media likes to hear about those companies as well. So just give us a brief information about your company. If you're having a milestone year, say you're celebrating your 15th anniversary this year, your 20th, your 25th, your 50th, or 100, let us know about that as well, because the media likes to hear about that, and we like to tell the media about that. And then you can upload a product sheet or a press release if you like. And then this will go to my show PR team, and they will in turn, have this information for when they're pitching to the media, which they're going to start doing in next month or in January. They may start in December, but then in January they start getting to them hot and heavy. So, submit this information as soon as you can. Again, if you have any questions, please, feel free to contact me. Happy to help you out and answer anything that I can. And again, most of our services for getting to the news media are free. And I'll turn it over to Nancy now to finish our program.
Thanks, Deb. So we're coming to the end here. We're just going to kind of cover this booth design, which sometimes people are like, why do we have to talk about booth design? Well, you'd be surprised. if you've never exhibited at the Inspired Home Show before, it's a very elevated show. And your booth presentation will often sometimes dictate whether a buyer is going to keep walking down the aisle or they're going to turn and come into your booth. You can't set up like a flea market. You've got to have some sort of method to the madness, and it has to really be presentable. Doesn't mean you have to spend an arm and a leg. There's lots of things you can do with graphics. You can go to the Freeman packages, which should be out next week, hopefully, and you can pick a package there. And again, you can always use graphics or whatnot to make the booth look a little more elevated. But it's just important. Like people who come and they don't take time to set the booth, or they sit behind the table and they don't engage with the passerbyers. It sounds silly that I have to even say it. I see it every year, and I've been doing this show for more than I'd like to admit. Anyways, just take a quick read. It doesn't have to be anything, but there is a big white paper in here that we had a merchandiser do about lighting and hero products, and it's worth a quick review. The exhibitor services kit, I mentioned this earlier. I showed you on the navigation where you could find this in the drop down under exhibit, but you can also get to it here. This is, like I said, this is kind of your operational guide to exhibiting. This is the nuts and bolts, your booth, your move-in, your order forms, your electricity forms, whatnot. EAC stands for Exhibitor Appointed Contractor, also known as your booth builder. If you do not have a booth builder, you can go ahead and view this. I'd also suggest using the internet. There's lots of display companies now that you can buy a pop-up display, and that's acceptable. You just have to make it look nice and the surroundings with it look nice. I will tell you, not a lot of people do that, but it is totally acceptable, and some definitely do it. I always say make sure you get 3 quotes. Like Freeman should always be in your request for a proposal, because they might throw in some drayage, like their perks to using the general contractor. So you can take a look at that. And then this exhibitor success story, this actually came out of the first show after COVID on 2022. And this is a Canadian exhibitor, and there were lots of restrictions coming back and forth from Canada. Anyways, she basically went on to I'll just liken it to like a Facebook marketplace. She found somebody getting rid of an old booth. She repurposed it. She used graphics or wallpaper rather to really make it punch out. So there's definitely, you can be a little bit of a sleuth and find some really good options. Because I know costs can get really high with the booths, but it doesn't have to be expensive. It just has to look expensive or look good. Social media tips. This is for you to read at your leisure. Deb showed you the assets that you can also use if you're doing a lot of social media. We talked about GIA, but this is really about GIA. If you go to the Learn More page, it'll bring up a PDF. It'll show you all the 14 categories that are judged on. It'll explain the entry point as new product showcase. So this is kind of for you to deal with at your leisure. And then Exhibitor Connect. Today you would have gotten your 3rd Exhibitor Connect. If you've missed any, you can come here and browse past issues. You're going to see Marketing Connect starting. You're going to see Exhibitor Connect. These are worth a read. Exhibitor Connect for sure, because it will start telling you deadlines for booth diagrams and hanging signs and, like I said earlier, all the operational things. So I would definitely just at least read the headlines and make sure you're not missing anything. And again, this comes out every Monday from now until show. This is where the new recording will go up. If you're listening to this, you may hear a few different things because we had some technical difficulties. And with that, I want to talk about 2 more things. One, we're celebrating our 125th show. And Debbie is announced her retirement. She's here for 33 years. She just celebrated last year. And I just want to call her out because she's been amazing for the association. And I'm sure going to miss my partner here doing these webinars, and I've learned enough that I could probably get through a lot of the press stuff, but at the same time, we're really going to miss you, Deb.
Thank you, Nancy.
Thanks
Thank you.
for everything.
Oh, you're welcome. And thank you to you, the exhibitors, and to your PR agencies and your in-house PR people. It's been a pleasure meeting you and knowing you and working with you all these years. And, you know, your help for my show PR team has helped make the show successful for IHA and for you. And I know it will continue. And it will go on, and it'll probably, you'll be around for the 150th show. I did want to explain why we're celebrating the 125th show this year. It's not in years. It's our 125th show since 1939. In the early days, we used to do 2 shows a year in the winter and then in the summer. And then in 1992 was the first year that we went to 1 annual show. They've all been held in Chicago, at least one of the shows has. And then in 92, when we went to 1 show a year, then they've been at McCormick Place. So, we have a lot of special events and various activities planned for the show. You'll be hearing more about that in the coming months through Marketing Connect and Exhibitor Connect. And so we, encourage you to take advantage of some of those and help us promote our 125th show.
Thanks, Deb. And with that, we wish you all a very happy and healthy holiday season ahead. We're here to answer your questions. In fact, we'll go back to the slides so you can take a picture. We got very fancy with QR codes. But thank you again. Any questions, feel free to reach out. We're here to help you. And have a great holiday season, guys. Thank you.
Have a great show.
Bye.